everyone, today I have Stuart. I call him like my mentor. I respect and admire him, and today he's going to share with you ideas about how to empower your best self and then follow your heart to achieve your dream, your passion in life. And we are going to have really lovely conversation with the audio file. I'm sorry, but I didn't record it.
Yeah, we're not going to do this on video, we're just doing an audio. It's better to actually be able to hear us than it is to see us, although you get to see us just for a few minutes perhaps if you're lucky, but not for the entire interview. So yeah, we're going to be talking about personal development, we're going to be talking about setting goals, we're going to be talking about the passion and the energy needed to achieve your goals, because truthfully you can achieve anything you want if you believe it and you're willing to do what it takes.
What I like the most in that one is about the why, because we talk about a lot of things and then we always come back with the why we do what we do, and that is something like gonna be a fundamental factor for all the action later on, and for all your motivation, your energy, and things like that. So I really enjoyed it, and I believe you're gonna enjoy it also.
It's a great conversation, and Jen has a lot of passion for what she does, and she knows her why, and she's going to be talking about why you need to know your why.
Yeah, thank you.
Right,
yeah.
Cool.
Try to pick up some big ideas and apply in your life, as I did, and I share with you some big ideas that I pick up from the conversation. So try it and see how it works for you before you say it's not working for you. Okay?
Cool.
And maybe Stuart can share a bit about what you're doing now, right?
Sure, yeah, thanks Jen. I've been involved in personal development as a coach and as a trainer for 4 or 5 years now, working with Bob Proctor, who was kind of a legend in the United States in the personal development movement. He's about 80 now, he's been teaching and training people for over 40 years, and his mentor was Earl Nightingale, whose mentor was Napoleon Hill, who wrote the great book Think and Grow Rich. And Bob appeared also in the movie, in the hit movie The Secret, which was also a book by Rhonda Byrne, talking about law of attraction, talking about law of vibration, how to create the life that you want. And that's where I'm at. I chose to end my career as a journalist to move into personal development because it was something I'd always wanted to do. And I think because more people are receptive to the idea that we can actually start to create the kind of life that we'd really like to create for ourselves, and we have the power to do that. Yeah, so I've been doing that for 5 years, but I've been dreaming about it for 30 years. So, yeah.
But
yeah.
I didn't know that you dream about that, like you were born, no, it's like 30 years ago, it's not like you were born like for some years already, but
Yeah.
you saw
So,
it on television or...
yeah, it's interesting. You know, it's like most of us in the personal development field, when we're on the journey that we're all sharing. I was living in Australia, in Sydney, and this was in the late 80s, and, you know, life wasn't as good as I wanted it. In fact, I was pretty hopeless and life wasn't going very well. I was living in Sydney, beautiful place to live, but I didn't really feel that I was very powerful or knew how to shape my life. And I heard an advert on the radio for a course called Mind Powers. And it was run by a guy called Kerry Riley in Australia, but it was created by a Canadian, I think, called John Kehoe. And he'd written a book called Mind Powers, and it's all about using the power of your mind to change your life. And I went to do these seminars, and I was blown away by them. They were pretty amazing, new information I'd never heard of before, and learned about that book, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, and also another book, Psycho-Cybernetics by Maxwell Maltz. And I mentioned those two books because it'll become clear when I tell you something else a little bit later. But those were the first two personal development books I ever read back in 1987. And I thought, you know what? I'd love to do what he's doing. I'd love to be out on the stage helping other people. And then I did a program in London that's been around for over 40 years, called the Forum. It's now called the Landmark Forum, created by a guy called Werner Erhard in San Francisco in the 70s. Great personal development seminar, amazing work for those of you that know it. And I thought, yeah, like most people, I'd love to be a leader. I'd love to be a forum leader up on the stage, changing people's lives. And then it stopped right there. I used the information, personal development information, to create a really great career in journalism. But in the back of my mind, I always wanted to be a personal development leader, leading seminars. But I didn't know how to do it, and I didn't believe I could.
Okay.
Until 5 years ago when I met my mentor Bob Proctor at a seminar he was holding in Arizona, of all places, and he talked about 2 books. The first book he ever read was Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, the first personal development book I read. And then he talks about the power of psycho-cybernetics, and I'm going, wait a minute, I know those 2 books. There's something about this guy that I like.
Like resilient, right? Yeah. Totally.
Yeah.
But but his journalist is awesome. A lot of people love to do that and dream about it. So when you decided to choose to become a journalist, it's kind of like you like it, or just because of something else?
Yeah, I thought I liked it, but I became a journalist at 16, and because my father liked it.
Okay.
And I was impressed by my father, as we often are, and also by the lifestyle of journalists and the idea that someone would want to employ me on a newspaper. I loved the idea, so I went into it. What I liked also was sports journalism, and I became a sports journalist for a while, covering a lot of different sports, both in Australia, New Zealand and England. And I went to Olympic Games. I covered 3 Olympic Games. I've covered football World Cup finals and European football championships, and flown into Zurich for weekly or monthly meetings of FIFA. That kind of lifestyle, fabulous lifestyle. I really enjoyed it, and that's what I wanted to do. That's what I created out of my personal development journey, out of my courses, how to work for companies that would pay me to watch sport and fly me around the world. So I love doing that, and that's what I created. And I realized the power of personal development and of mind power to be able to create the life you want.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it's just a wonderful life, traveling and working at the same time and get paid by that. But then
Yeah.
you feel like you didn't really work for yourself, or you feel like you didn't really help people if you are a journalist. That's what made you change, or?
Yeah, and I with one of my first mentors and coaches in the early 90s, I had that conversation. I don't know that journalism is really doing it for me. I don't know that I get to help people, which is what I think I want to do. And I had to think about why it was worth doing what I was doing, and I was able to create a reason for that it was about inspiring people. Sport is a great vehicle for inspiring people to achieve more. So I love being a part of that. But it was a very small part, and it wasn't a direct part of inspiring people, which I always knew I wanted to do. So I was living in London, and I decided to move to America because I wanted to go and look at the personal development movement close up. And California was where it was happening, and Arizona, I lived in Sedona, which was the spiritual center and heartland of New Age and law of attraction movements. And it took me longer than I expected because I continued to enjoy journalism.
Yeah, I think it's a wonderful job, though. It's like
Yeah.
you always have new places and new things, so you have novelty, so you don't really get bored with that. But then
Yeah.
at the same time, you lose the big picture that you want in you was like you took
Yeah.
properly. So
Yeah, the big picture, yeah.
yeah, that's why today I kind of like really want you to share about how to really remove the mindset of working from 9 to 5 for somebody, and then really step up to do what you really like to do and keep the momentum to do it, because I think that is the hardest part when people start doing something by working for themselves, and they could not keep that momentum because they're still thinking about who's gonna pay my bills. So I met like a guy yesterday in the tech spark. He just started to do his business, working like a kind of like entrepreneur freelance, that anyone can come and ask him for help to fixing the internet or any kind of like technology problem. And he told me it took him like 6 months to really rewire his mindset, to remove the idea you wanna work for somebody today, wake up and then come back like that. So, but he finally made it, and I think that is the hard part. So probably you can share how to overcome it and how to keep
Sure.
Yeah.
Share
your story about it.
Sure. It's a great thought, Jen, because it's rewiring your mindset. When a lot of us have a mindset that we wake up inside of some days that I don't want to. I don't want to go to work today. I don't want to do anything today. I don't feel like it. It's just human nature to wake up in that sometimes. And I think what we're doing as entrepreneurs, working for ourselves, is trying to find a mindset of I'm really excited about what I'm doing today. So you wake up excited, but you don't always. because we have paradigms, we have mental conditioning, we have mental programming in our subconscious mind that kicks in from the old days. You know, you're working for somebody else, it's not as inspiring. But you do it because you have to do it. You train yourself to go to work, to do the 9 to 5, to put the hours in, to get paid, to pay the bills. And then suddenly there's this time where you go, well, I'm going to work for myself. I'm going to be an entrepreneur. I'm going to be a solopreneur and do it all by myself. And you wake up one day and that inspiration maybe today isn't there, and there's no motivation of working for somebody else. There's no one there looking at you saying, well, are you doing the work today?
Yeah.
Are you, if you're a salesperson, are you making those sales calls? Or if you're a writer, are you writing the content? We need it in 2 hours, not 20 hours. There's nobody there looking at you across the room, and you can goof off and get onto Facebook, or you can read something, you know, an online website that you love going to, and it's like, just 10 minutes. So yeah, part of it is the changing that mental mindset. And it's about making a decision. It's about making decisions in advance that you're going to be disciplined, that you're going to be and do what you said you would be and do today. So I always like to tell people, because I train a lot of people who create their own businesses and run their own businesses, or even just set them up and move out of corporate into entrepreneurship, that you are taking on so many different roles.
Yeah.
In your job, you are one person. You had one role, perhaps. When you have your own business, you have many roles. I always like to say that, so, yeah, I'm a coach and trainer. That's one thing I love doing. I'm also a speaker. I'll go out and talk to organizations and put on my own seminars and maybe webinars like you do, Jen. And I'm also the marketing executive of my company. Wow. Who knew? And the sales director of my company. And I look around some days and I go, hey, sales director, what did you sell today? What did you do today? It's like, no, I think we just like to be, and I'm a writer as well, so some days I just prefer to sit there and write some blogs or write some articles or write some content for a workshop. And the sales guy doesn't show up today. The writer shows up. Yeah. So you've got to know what all your elements of your business are. You've got to know who you need to be to fulfill each of those roles. And if you can't do it yourself, hire somebody. Don't think you can't hire somebody, because you can these days. And also, when are you going to do the things that each of those roles do? So I have my day really scripted out, scheduled out, and my week scheduled out as well. So some days are sales days, some days are marketing days. Actually, every day should be a marketing day, right? In our business. You should always be doing something.
Yeah, I mean, it's like if you don't know how to sell things, like how can you survive your business? And that is also the hard part for people to sell things, because I myself also like,
Yeah.
what are you gonna sell? Like, you know, when if you're talking like with your dad, and your dad gonna say, my dad gonna say, are you selling something? You're like, is there something bad about that? So
No.
yeah, you know, that's kind of mindset. Really like.
You know, so sales. Yeah, so my mentor Bob Proctor, he always likes to say that for those of the people in his organization that he coaches and trains and teaches to lead his material, like I do, he says, look, there are only 2 jobs in the world. There's sales, the sales and the sales support. Either you're selling something or you're supporting someone who's selling something. Because I don't know, I can't think who it was who would say this, whether it's Brian Tracy or Stephen Covey, but nothing happens until somebody sells something. Actually, that sounds like Zig Ziglar. Nothing happens until somebody sells something to somebody else that they need, that benefits them. Yeah.
Yeah. I think people kind of like, they don't like the idea of sell, but they're still doing every time. Like, it's like you buy a nice coffee and you say, hey mom, I just buy a very nice coffee. You go and check it out, and then your mom just eventually go and buy it, but you don't get benefit from that, but the coffee shop get it.
Yeah.
So it's like you directly sell. But it's like,
yeah, that's a perfect idea. That's a really great training for salespeople as well, Jen. It's like, do you realize how much you're selling on behalf of somebody else who's not paying you? When you are recommending, you know, when you're recommending the movie or the film that you saw, or the coffee shop that you go to, or the new wine that you're buying, it's like, yeah, you're selling to somebody else all the time. Yeah.
It's like, that's what I you know the guy who wrote the book, Start With Why?
Yeah. Simon Sinek. Yeah.
Simon Sinek, and he's just talking about, like, you're going to buy something and you walk on the road and there's a guy, he like expert on that product, and you say, hey man, you should not buy it, and then you say, just get out of here. But it's like your friend who have no idea about it, but he's like your friend and tell you like, oh, you should buy that, and you just follow him. So it's like also like, you know, eventually buy something, you just based on the church. So that's why you can sell things by just recommending people, just like maybe really like, you know, believe and you just go and buy it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Exactly.
yeah, that's why we can create the network by just like referencing and recommending.
Yeah, so a lot of people in our industry work on referrals. It's you do a good job for somebody, you make a difference in somebody's life, and they tell their friends about it.
Yeah, yeah.
And the thing for us often to do is to ask those people that we work with, so did you tell them about me specifically, and did you suggest that they might like to work with me? So we have other people that can sell for us as well, but it's about making a difference in people's lives. It's about creating a benefit. And Sinek's book, that's great as well that you mentioned that. Why do we do it? What's our reason for doing it? Because it's easier to get up every day at 7 in the morning and work till 11 at night on your own business if you know why you're doing it and you have a big enough reason why.
Yeah.
Then
have a vision and then know the purpose of the vision, right? Like.
Purpose of the vision. Yeah. Because when you know that, it's not work anymore.
Yeah.
It's not something you have to do. It's something you like to do.
Yeah. That's like.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, it's like you ask somebody like, what is the when you want to feel like finance freedom, and then if they say like, when I feel like I like to work, and then that should be the nice answer.
Yeah.
I like the part that you talk about. You know your roles in life, because I think that is the important part. That when we know what we need to do, and then we just know like who we want to be, and we know what we need to do, right?
Yeah, and we have to learn some of those roles, but we have to know what we're doing at each moment of the day, and we have to know why we're doing it. And here's something that I'll share about, we talked about sales and how some people don't like to do it. The secret of success, the common denominator that every successful person shares is one thing. Everybody has one thing in common who is successful. They form a habit of doing things they don't like to do. They actually make it a habit to do things they don't like to do, because that's where you get the breakthroughs, that's where you earn a lot more money, that's where you make a bigger difference in doing things you don't like doing. If you only do things you like doing, you never grow.
Oh, so does it like conflict with what we just said? Like you love what you do.
But you get to love, so there's something you love doing. I love coaching, but I might not love doing my tax accounts.
Oh.
But it's part of my business, right?
Right. So you mean like you kind of like need to just break your comfort zone to do something that you're not
Yeah.
doing it, and you are
Yeah.
like scared of, to just
Yeah.
move you towards your goals in life. Yeah.
Yes.
It's kind of a very nice example. I remember one of my friends, like she got this lady, and she's really nurtured, and she studied psychology, so she got really, like has a lot of theory and things. I love that. So she said like, the only reason they go to the gym because I know that you're gonna help me for my marathon. And maybe I don't like the gym, but my marathon is the thing that I aim for. So
Yeah.
that motivates me every day to go to the gym.
Yeah, the bigger thing, the bigger reason you're doing it. Yeah, and so the little things in our life, in our work, in our jobs that we don't like doing, that we'd rather not do, that we put off and procrastinate because somewhere we don't like it. But if you do what you just said there, you tie it to a bigger reason. If you tie the thing you don't like doing, going into the gym and working on the treadmill, to how it will feel to get a good time in the marathon, then it becomes a reason to do it, and you overcome the procrastination, you overcome the dislike of it, because there's a good reason for it.
And
Yeah.
like you still enjoy doing it because you had the motivation there. So you're not like, you don't like the idea of the gym, but you like the process of it because you think it move you towards what you want. And it's not like you still live in the moment, because otherwise people will say, oh, so you're not in the moment, you hate what you're doing, you just like wait until happy. No, you're just happy.
What are you doing in this moment? If you're not here happy in this moment, what's wrong with your life? Yeah, where else could you be? Where else should you be? But is what you're doing today building and growing towards your future that you really want? And you're working on the treadmill in the gym at 6 in the morning, and you have that thought, I really wish I wasn't. But if you can have the thought and the image, the imagination, the picture of that marathon run, maybe in London or Amsterdam or somewhere, and you have that in your mind, you suddenly pick up, your energy picks up, your body changes, you enjoy it. Yeah, what can you enjoy about this moment?
Yeah.
What can you think of that will have you enjoy this moment? Then life starts to get pretty exciting.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Let's come back with the role thing because I interested in that one. As you said, like you can see that sometimes I can
Yeah.
like go after a lot of things and maybe not really do one thing well first. So a lot of people they recommend you do one thing well first, like either really focus on speaker or
Yeah.
either really focus on writer, maybe marketing. But then I think it's kind of like a complex thing. What about your story? What do you think? Do you recommend when you start to be good at first?
Yeah, gosh, yeah, we hear this so often in our industry that everyone wants to do everything, or there are some things, yeah, that you don't do so well that you think you should do, and that becomes a burden. But I agree, there is probably one or two things that you do well, and that it would be good to focus on that, because we get scattered. We think we should be doing everything, and we keep moving from one thing to another. And if your business isn't growing, and it isn't growing at the speed you want it to, it's step back and look to see, are you doing too many things? Are you trying to be a master of everything instead of doing one thing really well? So what's that old proverb about, if you want to find water, dig one well deeply instead of many shallow wells. Very old proverb that tells us exactly you want to do one thing well until it's working and then add something else.
So what about
So
your case? Like, how did you decide that which one you kind of like start first and really like go deep in it and master it?
yeah. So I think, for me in my business, in my coaching and training business, where I started out was where we were told the way Bob Proctor started his business many years ago is you talk to the people you talk to the people that you have relationships with, that you think you can help and make a difference to. And you have conversations, one-on-one conversations with those people, and you get good at having those conversations because part of our industry, part of the work I do, is showing people how I can help them when they don't realize I can.
Yeah.
So having a conversation to persuade them to see the possibility of what I do is improving, increasing, growing who they are or their business or some area of their life that they didn't know I could do that. So having that one-on-one conversation with people who already know me or have a relationship, that's a great way to start. And what I also wanted to do, which I was encouraged, was to be a speaker, to either have my own seminars, to speak in front of other people on other people's stages, because I love doing that. I wasn't always very good at it, but I like doing it. I like being up there and speaking.
Oh, I cannot believe that you're not good at that. So tell us, like, when did you start speaking? Yeah, and then the first day you start speaking, how was that?
Yeah, that was difficult. So, 5 years ago, I couldn't get up in front of a group of people and speak very well. I would be incredibly nervous, and I wouldn't do a very good job of it because I'd be thinking about how nervous I was instead of thinking, how can I say something valuable to the people in the audience?
And actually really supportive, right? The audience, like, they never know.
Yeah, they don't.
What happened with the guy?
It's a mindset, it's in your head. And what I discovered, and once again, Bob Proctor's been a speaker on the world stage for 40 years, and what he taught us was that, and taught me, was that you practice. And if you practice, you realize that you can do something. If you want to do something, you practice it enough times, you suddenly have a realization that you can. So I'm in a seminar with Bob. Well, actually, it was a training program with Bob, and there's a group of us working together, giving 5-minute speeches. And the first couple, they're really bad. And you go, I don't like this, I don't think I can do it, I don't think I ever will. But after about the third time, you suddenly realize that you're doing it differently, and you're doing it better. Because your subconscious mind tries to pick up what you're doing. And if it's something new, you're nervous, you don't know how to do it, because your subconscious mind, you don't have a subconscious program for doing it. But when you keep doing it over and over, your subconscious starts to create a program, and it starts to create a good program. Your subconscious doesn't create bad programs. So if you're willing to practice and practice and learn and practice, you eventually get comfortable and you get good at it and you master it because your subconscious mind creates a program to help you deliver it. Now, you get good so long as you don't keep telling yourself, I'm not good. If you tell yourself, I'm bad, I can't do that, you don't get good that way. You've got to believe you can do something. You've got to tell yourself you can do it, and you practice doing it until you can. So it's really like the actor's technique. When an actor learns to take on a new role for a movie or a stage play, they have to become that character, and they have to learn to become that character. In the beginning, they're not, but they know they will be if they practice enough.
Yes, they take years for shy in 1 minute, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
So, yeah. So you decide what it is you'd like to do. You start to learn from somebody else how to do it. You practice enough, and you believe you're going to be able to do it, and you have a breakthrough, and it happens.
Yeah, yeah.
So belief in yourself
Yeah.
is really important.
Yeah, I think that's something like it's so common sense and it's so fundamental for people. Like they estimate that the power of the belief, right? So
Yep.
that is the first step. If we don't take that step, we're gonna always
Yeah.
just there. And yesterday I was talking with a girl. I interviewed her, and she kind of like she it's interesting because she said like she didn't believe or didn't think like she would get that kind of scholarship, but she wanted it, so she had the desire, and she think like, oh yes, I just want it, that's all I need to know. So she she just suggested everyone to just need to want it first, and maybe you don't really imagine you want to get it probably, but you just at least you have desire and you just take action on it. So that actually also link to each other, I think, the desire of wanting something.
Desire, yeah. Yeah, you've got to really want it a lot. You know, someone was asking me recently about how to hit a goal that was very, very difficult, and I remember the old Zen story about desire. You've got to want it enough. You've got to really want it if you're going to achieve that. And the story is about a Zen master and a novice. And the novice says, you know, how do I become enlightened? And the Zen master says, well, you've got to want it enough. You've got to want to be enlightened. And the novice says, well, I want to be. And the master says, no, you don't. You don't want it enough. Let me show you what I mean. And they're sitting, say, by a river, and he pushes the novice into the river, and then he holds his head underwater. And he holds his head underwater for a while, until he's fighting and flailing and gasping for breath and not getting any, and then he brings him up. And he says, what were you thinking when I first put your head underwater? Well, I was thinking many things. I was confused. I didn't know what was going on. And what were you thinking when you almost drowned? I was thinking only of air. How much I wanted air. Yeah. So when you can want your goal as much as a drowning person wants air, that's when you get it.
Yeah. So
That's what desire needs to be.
What is the guy who like American guy who speaks really loudly and he always wear like the cap? What is the name of him? He said like, if you want something as bad and you want to breathe, and then you want to get it. Yeah. So that's exactly what the story that you should share. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You've really got to want it enough. If you want it enough, you will get it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So for us, it's about how do you create that burning desire. So Napoleon Hill talked about that in his book in Think and Grow Rich, a burning desire.
How can you create it? Yeah.
Most of us don't know how to do that.
So can you recommend?
We have-
it? Because I also like how you can like, but I think it comes from motivation. Is it or what do you think? The why? What should be your recommendation?
It's a why. It's what's your purpose. You need a strong enough purpose. You need to have a real reason why you want it. You've got to dig deep inside yourself to find out why. You know, some people come to me and say they want to be millionaires. And it's like, well, that's very nice. You can be a millionaire, but why do you want it? Because you won't become a millionaire unless you know why. Well, I want to be rich. No, you don't want to be rich. You do not want to be rich. That's not the reason you're going to become a millionaire. You're going to become a millionaire because of what you do with the money, not because you want the money. And often when people look deeply, the reason they want to be rich is because they want to make a difference and help other people. Now, when you can find a passion for helping somebody else, that can become a great motivation to achieve your goal.
Yeah.
And it often is you want to help somebody.
Yeah. I think
There's
that's
some-
that's why Tony Robbins said that the secret of living is the giving. And I
Yeah.
feel like if people just chase money, they said I want to be rich, and then when they get rich, they never actually like rich because they
Yeah.
want more. So they're gonna
Yeah.
continue want more, or they probably like the idea of
Oh,
being rich. They don't really know.
Yeah. And that's brilliant, actually, because in the beginning, someone says, I want to be rich, I want to be wealthy, I want to be a millionaire. Okay, you get to be a millionaire, but you know what? Very few people who get to be millionaires turn off the desire to be a millionaire.
Yeah.
So they continue to want, continue to want, and they never get satisfied. They're never happy because they never get.
Yeah.
They never stop wanting, but they don't have a good reason. They don't have a bigger purpose that the money will serve.
Yeah. They just die on the idea of getting there, and
Yeah.
they getting there, they continue getting there,
Yeah.
and never like to any other thing. So this is the purpose of why I think, yeah. And
Yeah.
can we call it like intrinsic motivation? Because it's something really like come from us, not something come from like the reward of outside or something like that.
No, I think it's internal. Even if an external, if something outside it triggers it, it's triggering something inside of us.
Right.
You certainly will see something in the world that makes you go, there's something I want to do, but it's inside of us already. So you've got to look inside. You've got to live from the inside out instead of the outside in. You've got to go inside and find that purpose and motivation. Yeah, why do you want to do what you do?
Yeah, I think that's come back with the thing that you shared last time. It's all about like even the external kick it, but it's actually the seed already inside us, and it's kind of like we later on we need to grow it and water it, and then it can grow. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
what's this one?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah. One more thing I was like planning to ask you. Do you remember? Do you remember?
Do I remember? I don't know whether that was about a schedule or whether that was
The momentum,
motivating
yeah?
yourself.
No, I think
Momentum, yeah.
Momentum, yeah, because I think it's to get
Yeah.
every day is like
Yeah.
kind of like something challenging for people, right?
Yeah, it is.
You don't get like the end of the month, you don't get like, that kind of money come to your account or whatever. Maybe if you get to the point that money come every day, but that's
Yeah.
the beginning, yeah?
Yeah. How do you build momentum? How do you keep going? How do you keep going on the days that you don't feel like it? Yeah, there are many ways of tackling that, but I think setting up your day is so important. You've got to get in the right mindset. You can plan your day the day before, which a lot of people do before they go to bed. They know what they're going to do in the morning. They know what they're going to do tomorrow. But the most important thing, and I think you know this as well, Jen, because Tony Robbins talks about it, is you've got to start the day well. You've got to wake well. You've got to get yourself in the right mindset early, because as human beings, we have a habit of waking up inside a bad mindset. It's that Monday morning feeling for those of you that go to work. It's like, Monday. Which Monday is I'm told, and I've seen the record of this.
Those master day that I showed.
Yeah.
It's so
Yeah.
funny, but it's the harder with people, right? Because the longer
Yes.
to the weekend, the
Yeah.
more like
Yeah.
how they feel.
Yeah. Those records that tell us that more people have heart attacks on Monday mornings than any other time because, it's stressful. So we have a tendency just to wake up inside of some days, I don't want to, or I don't feel like it. And if you wake up inside of that, it's so hard to change it, and your day goes down, you lose motivation, you lose energy, nothing gets done, you lose a day.
Yeah.
So what there is to do is to deliberately decide that every day you wake up the same way. You have a habit of doing something that inspires you, lifts you, gets your mood in a good place, puts you in a good mood. So what is there to do? I know what I start doing, and a lot of people in our industry do this, is we start by thinking of something we're grateful for, usually 3 things we're grateful for. That's a good way of putting yourself in a good frame of mind. Also, you might think, why am I doing this today? Who am I serving? Brendan Bashard talks about that a lot. Who am I serving today? It's not about me. It's about somebody else that I care about. If you care about people, if you care about serving people, and you think about them instead of yourself, you start to change your mood and you start to remember why you want to get up and get on with the day. But also, and then the other thing is having a good image in your mind of the future you're creating for yourself, or the future you're creating for somebody else, but the future you're living into, an inspiring image, picture, vision of you in your mind that you can conjure up every morning and remember why you're going to do all the things you're going to do today, why you're going to have a 16-hour day, because you love doing what you do. So 3 things, really. You don't need to overdo it, but 3 things that you can use that when you wake up, that's the first 3 things you do that get you in a good mood. Got to be able to do that.
Yes, it's totally like it's a great idea. I think it is like inspire us in the morning, and I think as you said, the most important is about discipline. Right? If we don't decide that you're gonna be happy.
Yeah, there you go. It's a decision.
And like I told my friend, like he's a guy like he's like always oh you know Jen, every day, not every day gonna be happy day. I don't need to pretend it. You know, sometimes I wake up I feel good, and sometimes I don't feel good. And he said, so what makes you feel not good? And he said, I still feel not good. I said, so can you decide to feel good? He said, yeah, I can. So why don't you do that? He said, I don't know.
Yeah, I heard it.
Yeah, it's like
What a great thought.
they decide to not feel good. Yeah.
Decide, yeah.
Feel not good, whether it's gonna make everything better. You said no, and it's okay. So,
Yeah, yeah.
it's a really like common sense.
Oh, so here's something. But I'll borrow it from somebody else. This isn't mine, but I love this question. So, Jen, do you know the secret of happiness?
The secret of happiness, like Tony Robbins said, is a giving.
Giving is great. That causes it.
I
But
feel
do
like that. Yeah, I feel like I can.
do you know?
Have somebody else, yeah.
So just following on from what you said about that guy, do you know how to be happy?
Oh, how to be happy? I just decide to be happy. I think.
That's it. The secret of happiness is just to decide to be happy. Be happy.
Yeah, and actually,
Be happy. And don't think.
No secret, no secret. Right? It's just like that.
Yeah.
It's so funny because no matter we happy or not, it doesn't change things if we're not happy. So why don't we just happy?
Just be happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if we're happy, we work more effectively. That's the
We do. We feel better. We have more energy. Yeah. So you know the secret of happiness. Decide to be happy. Yeah.
Yeah. I think like I kind of like decide to be happy more when I grew up. Yeah.
Yeah.
And because I feel like I knew that I control what I think, and that is a good thing because I don't think like we need to wait until one moment and someone say, okay, hey, now you can be happy. Like, yeah, it's a good thing because we can decide what we decide, and we can decide what we feel. It's like the freedom of choice, right? So,
Yeah, it is. We get to choose. We can choose what we think.
yeah. Yeah,
We
and
can.
I really love the one you share about belief, and I think a lot of people they don't realize that they have limiting beliefs. They don't
Yeah.
realize.
They don't.
Yeah, that is the part like we need to, because they don't realize, so they don't think that they have limiting belief, and they don't have anything to compare, and they don't think that they deserve a better life because they don't really never actually have chance to talk about it. So do you work with people like that, and how can you like make them to know?
Oh yeah, no, I do. I work with people a lot with that in the program that I use, Thinking into Results, that was created by Bob Proctor. We talk about beliefs a lot. It's discovering what you believe that holds you back. What are your self-limiting beliefs? You've got to look inside your mind to see what you tell yourself and what you think, because like you just said, you can choose what to think. Nobody can make you think for you. You can choose yourself. So what if you were to choose? What thoughts do you choose? First of all, we look to see, well, what thoughts do you choose? What are you thinking all the time? What do you believe? And are they serving you? And if they're not serving you, if they're not making you happy, they're not making you productive, they're not moving you forward and growing you, what should you choose to believe? What would you prefer to choose to believe or to think? And you can start to train yourself to think deliberately, consciously, and choose your thoughts so they move you in the direction of your goals and the life that you want. Yeah. We can train ourselves to do that. And it just takes a little bit of coaching and a bit of hand-holding to show you how to do that. Because it's hard, like you said, to look inside your own mind and see what you're thinking. Yeah.
Yeah, but like, what about the case that people even they don't realize that that they should deserve something more? Like, I think there's a lot of friends of mine. I think they have been studying very well, and they started their own family, and they just like have the routines, and it's wonderful. It's great if they're happy, but then I think they cannot even get happier, or they deserve more, and they can just like have people in a bigger way, or they can do something like bigger. I feel like
Yeah.
like that because they really potential. So that is the part like when people get into the routine of life, they see that they probably can do something bigger, or but they feel like because they are now in that routine,
Yeah.
they're just like, okay, so let's do it, So how can you like just pull people out of that routine, like to
Yeah.
get them to do something? girl today, and she kind of like, in the age of more than 30, and she worked in the NGO industry for a while, and NGO is good environment though, but she just like, she knew that she needs to step up to do something different. And
Yeah.
yeah.
People have to keep growing. They have to do more to become. Otherwise, we become dissatisfied, disillusioned. You're either growing or you're dying. On this planet, you're either growing or dying. If you're not growing, and I think Bob Dylan said it, if you're not busy growing, you're busy dying. We've got to keep growing. It's our nature to do more, be more, have more. We can't stop doing that. And yet a lot of people get trapped into that lifestyle where they give up and they don't do anymore because they're in that routine. And they feel dissatisfied. They feel that there's more to life and they don't know what it is. And that's that, in a sense, calling to them that there is more to do. So I was working with a client today who works for a big multinational corporation, and she's got a really tough job. She's overpowered, a lot of things to do, overwhelmed, a lot of things to do, and she wants to do something else, but is having this thought, I can't do both. But what we did was we created a reason, once again, a reason why, an exciting reason why she would be willing to keep her job and create another project. Something exciting. You've got to, it keeps coming back to the reason why, isn't it?
Yeah.
You've got to have a reason why you want to do something. If you can have that reason, you can find the time, you can find the money, you can find the energy to do more. So we should always be looking to do more, but we need a reason why we do more.
Yeah. I think it's so fundamental, and it absolutely worked for my case. I just think like there was time I kind of like, feel like lost and feeling like empty, and
Yeah.
I just what happened, and I recognized that I lost the connection with my wife. Okay, not my
Yeah.
wife, the wife that I
Yeah.
want to do. So because the why that what I want to do is to really come from my family, like
Yeah.
they kind of like inspire me, and I kind of like the reason for me to really live up to the person who can inspire more people. And at the time that they kind of like really not supported what I'm doing, and then I kind of like took it in the way that is not the good way to see. I took it like an excuse for, so that's just, I lost that why, and lost that connection, and that's why I felt like lost. But then I like, get back to the why of living, and I feel like more
Yeah.
engaged in it. Yeah, it's just really fundamental, and it's so cool.
Yeah, it is, and sometimes we need other people to help us recreate that as well. It's all about recreating why we're alive, what we're up to, what we're building in life, and sometimes we get lost, we get stuck, and that's where what we're doing in the coaching industry is stepping up and helping people with their journey. Because the really valuable thing that you and I do, and many thousands of other coaches in the world do, is to help motivate, inspire, and recreate our reasons why we're alive.
I think that's why life coaching nowadays is so important, because it really helps people to step up to the next level. And all the people, like for example, like even like all the celebrities, they still go to coach with Brandon or with Tony Rubin and with all the coaches like on the world, and probably some of them go to coach with you, and because they know that they can get to the better level with the support from coaching. It's not about like they not good enough, or it's about like they always can excel and better themselves with the support.
It's a good point you just said there. It's not about not being good enough, and people have that running through their lives, through their minds. The mindset for a lot of people is I'm not good enough, and it's not true. It's not about that you're not good enough. You are. It's just you haven't discovered, or you haven't grown enough to be able to do the thing you would love to do. It's not that you're not good enough. It's not that you're not good enough, because you are. Yeah. It's a beautiful thought.
Yeah. Okay. So I think like that's one difficult case that probably can have.
Yeah.
Like one of my clients. The most this guy like that. It's like he's case, that she kind of like she avoid, you know. She know that she need to change. That she know everything that she need to change. Okay.
Oh,
She
okay.
avoiding.
Yeah.
Kind of avoiding.
Yeah, avoiding, yeah.
Avoiding doing it. And it kind of skeptical and say, yeah, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
You're telling me.
Yeah.
But then really, she not really doing it.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm doing it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Denial.
what do you
Well, why aren't you getting the results then? Why isn't the change occurring? You're obviously not doing it as well as you need to do it, or as much as you need to do it, or maybe you're not engaged with it. Yeah, avoiding is a classic paradigm. Denial as well, that I think I'm doing it, but I'm not. Yeah, we have so many excuses in our minds.
Oh yeah, you talk about excuse. That is. Yeah.
We fool ourselves all the time. We talk ourselves out of it. The real thing to look at is what results are you getting? Are you moving closer towards your goal? Are you achieving your goals? Are you happy? Are you satisfied? If not, then you're avoiding doing something. You're avoiding growing. You're procrastinating in some area of your life. You know, I teach a seminar that's about why smart people get stuck, because they do, because they have paradigms that hold them back, and they don't know how to change them. And they kid themselves that it's okay when it's not really, because they could be so much more than they are. And it's yeah. I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to say that, because that's going to start to take me down a negative path that I don't want to go down. Everybody's capable of far much more than they're doing right now, because we never run out of potential. Potential never gets exhausted. What happens is we get exhausted and we get stuck, and then we need some help. We need someone to help us get unstuck, but the answers are inside of you. They're always inside of us. They're not outside. The person on the outside just helps us look inside better. What's that old story, that classic story about the old guy who's scrambling around in the street outside looking for something, and a passerby comes by and says, "Can I help you? What are you looking for?" He says, "Oh, I've lost this gold ring." And they're looking around the street forever, and they can't find it. And the passerby says, "Where did you drop the ring?" He said, "In the house." Well, why aren't you looking in there? It's too dark in there.
Yeah, that is so classic one. I love that one.
Yeah.
Uh,
We don't look where we need to look, which is inside ourselves. We tend to look outside instead of inside, because we don't like going inside, or we don't know how to do it. Yeah.
yeah, we kind of like feel scary.
Yeah. It's scary to go in there.
Yeah, because it's so powerful, right?
Oh yeah, very. It's confronting as well.
Yeah, it's like that is the best cell that of our cell, and the best cell never gonna react in that situation. Like, what are you reacting? And that's why you kind of like, you try to like avoid to really like.
Yeah.
That guy saying something. Yeah, that's so true. It's like a little voice. You're talking about a little voice one.
Yep. We are. Oh, I do. Yeah, I like to talk about the little voice. The little voice goes off all the time and tells us things that aren't true.
Yeah.
And they tell us things that stop us from doing the things we'd like to do. Because the little voice is scared of life. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And then
Yeah.
you said like the little voice, so that's like gone when you just like take action, right? The moment you just like.
Yeah, the little voice goes when you take action. So, yeah, the story I tell is about a zip line. When you're standing on the edge of a cliff to jump off on one of those wire lines that zip you down to the bottom, what happens is that little voice in your head goes off like mad, crazy person, talking you out of doing it, because it's scared of what's going to happen. There's danger ahead. So the little voice in your head goes off when there's danger. When it scans for danger, it sees it. It's part of the amygdala, the reptilian part of the primitive brain that scans for danger and has you run away from it if it's really bad. And it's going off and off and off and off. It's really telling you not to do it. But the moment you do the thing it's scared of, it shuts up, because its job is just to stop you from doing something that it thinks is dangerous. But often it's not. But that little voice stops us so many times, and it gets us scared. It makes us like little children. It makes us feel 5-year-old, like we're 5 years old and scared. But the truth is, you move through that fear, and the fear disappears, and the voice shuts up, and you find that there was nothing to be scared of. In fact, it's exhilarating on the other side of fear.
Yeah, it's like that's something.
Yeah.
It's just something that you just create by yourself in your mind, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Until you recognize and you let it appear and let it exceed So
Yep.
this is powerful because we can create what we want, right?
We can, you're right, it's very powerful. We can create in our mind what we want. We create the fears that are false.
Yeah.
You talk about false fears a lot, and in your work, and we can therefore create the opposite. We can create anything we want in our mind and believe why we can have it instead of believing why we can't have it. Yeah. So my question always to people is, well, what would you really want? If you could have anything, what would you want? And how could you believe that you could have it?
Oh. So how?
Well, you have to go inside and make up the belief. You have to find a reason to believe.
Yeah.
You've got to find a reason to believe. And it's inside of you.
Come back with the why, right? I think there's a lot to do.
Yeah. Yeah, why? Yeah. It's like,
Why we do what we do, right?
yeah, it's what we do. It's discovering something that inspires a person that they don't even realize is inside them. To take them on that journey inside to find what it is that is inspiring and motivating and exciting that they actually thought of once for 10 seconds but dismissed because they didn't think they could do it. But if we take them back in there and show them why they could do it, how to believe in themselves, and grow that picture bigger, and they start to get excited about the possibility of their life and go, I'd love to do that, but I didn't think I could. So we show them why they can.
Yeah. That's what I saw last time in the seminar. Like, all the people actually, like, they just, like, talk from their heart and their best self. I saw that in the eyes of everyone. And
Oh, yeah.
thanks to you, because you brought that power out of themselves. And I could see that change in James, who attended the seminar previously. And today you're also asking about the next one that you come in.
Yeah.
And I think one of my friends really need to work on that kind of belief, because he
Yeah.
has a limiting belief when he was kid with his family, and
Right. Yeah.
This helped me quite a lot.
Yeah, so what we did together in that seminar was to bring people, what you did really beautifully was you bring people into the present moment. You take them out of their past, you take them out of their thoughts and their negativity, and you get them present. And that allows them to start exploring inside themselves. You get them to put down their inhibitions, you get them to dance, you get them to sing, you get them to be excited, you create the energy that people need to make them feel good about looking inside and seeing who they really are. And that's what we did. We showed people who they could be, who they really were, when they had thrown off all their inhibitions and thrown off the negativity that was around them that we carry around with us. And then they could feel some of their true passion, some of their true energy, their true self, and think about, oh yeah, now I really, if I act like that every day, I know I could do more. Yeah, so you showed them that. Yeah.
You brought them outside, like a big step when you shared the belief thing. And I think that's why, like, she gave a speech later on. I think it's really come a lot from the inspiring that you share. I think so. I'm gonna ask her, but that's what I felt. Yeah. So
A little,
I
maybe.
learned a lot of things today, and I think it's so many big ideas, because normally I try to pick up like 9 big ideas in any interview because I like the number 9. And
Okay.
here I had like already
That's a lot.
15.
Really? Oh, wow,
And
cool.
to try to pick up like 9 of them. And today we go through a lot, like from how you really like step up to do what you want to do, to work for yourself and then have people in life, and how to know the why, and then believe in yourself, and what else, like, there's a lot, like,
Sure. That's a lot.
practicing and gratitude and make decision, be disciplined, so many things.
Yeah, a lot. And for some people who are listening in, take away 2 or 3 things. Jen's capable of taking away 9 things from an interview. Wow, that's great, because she's totally engaged with it. But sometimes, what we really want to do is just take away 1, 2, or 3 things that really inspire us and work on them, because you can't work on everything at once. But yeah, so many possibilities out there, and so many possibilities inside of you to be more and grow more. Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe I'm gonna say 9 things for myself, and maybe for you guys, and we take these 3 things for this video, and next time more. And I think there's some friend asking about some topic that I think you really experienced on this, so we're gonna have another interview if you have time. Yeah.
Yeah, we love talking about this work, and we love trying to talk in a way that helps people understand something, because that's what we're about, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, Rachel, we'll do that again. Yeah.
So thank you a lot for your time, and
You're
hope
welcome.
you have like wonderful weekend, right? Yeah.
Thank you, Jen. Yeah, we're heading into the weekend here now. For those of you who see this on Sunday evening, it's already over, but whatever. Have a good weekend yourself. It's always wonderful having a conversation with you, because we have happy conversations, right? We enjoy our conversations. Yeah,
So
it's great.
see you next time.
You bet. Yeah, we'll talk again.